Darn it. I was trying to get everybody in before we started. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I had a last minute little snafu with my phone. Like, phones are always here, always busy, ding, ding, dinging. Good morning. Happy Monday. I missed you guys last week. Can't wait to tell you all about it. Darn it, I just missed some of you. I'm so sorry. Like, I was trying to get Debbie, I missed you. I was trying to type so fast. And then right here at the very last second, good morning, Laura and John. Pam, I'm guessing you might be in there too. Ada, Martin, Riviera. I love it. You guys are so sweet to join in. Okay, so true story. Right before we started coffee time, we had one of my listings went pending last night. And I know the realtor who is representing the buyers. And this was all happening kind of late last night. And right before we started, I received a showing time request for a walkthrough at 5 p.m. this evening. And so I messaged that agent that requested the showing, which was not the agent who's representing the actual buyers. And I said, here, Alyssa, will you double check that? Because I think that's that person responding back. Just make sure that it's not the inspector I was telling you about. So I got a showing request for 5 p.m. for a walkthrough. And I said, I'm sorry, the home went pending last night. And they said, yes, I know. I'm walking the buyers through. And I was like, okay. So I reached out to the actual realtor and I said, hey, I received a showing walkthrough request for this evening at 5 o'clock. And they said that they are representing the buyers. This is the agent's name. Are they affiliated with you? And she's like, no, those aren't my buyers. And that's not my person. And I was like, okay, so I don't know what's going on there. So a little bit kooky. Anyway, no worries. This is real estate, guys. And I haven't even look, I don't even have coffee sitting beside me. Oh my gosh. What a failure. No, I won't take yours. No, I have a Diet Coke. That's fine. I'm on to the cold caffeine anyway. Anyway, welcome to my crazy, crazy, turbulent world. All right. So speaking of coffee, wasn't here last week. And the week before, I forgot to show you these wonderful mugs. You all know Shafiq. He's here with us most every coffee time. Lives there in the UK. He sent some lovely coffee mugs. Which is this one. This one's got this is actually my favorite picture of Eric and myself. I love it. I remember that day so fondly. We were actually at City Walk at Universal with the family there specifically actually to take pictures. It was a really cool backdrop. But Alyssa took that photo very randomly. I mean, we were posed, but not like take a picture of us. But we were just kind of looking out, and that's just one of my favorite pictures because it was, I don't know why. But anyway, and then he did this one, Good Morning Sunshine, YNWA, You Never Walk Alone, You'll Never Walk Alone. And then we also got this one from Shafiq, the Kidwell family, and just some pictures of us. And anyway, Shafiq, thank you so much. Like, he did these and sent these all the way from the UK. He also was the one that sent the YNWA, the Liverpool You'll Never Walk Alone, like the street sign looking thing that we showed a few weeks ago. Anyway, so Shafiq, thank you so much. So I don't have any coffee in it today. Darn it, but that's okay. The coffee mugs are here. So cheers to all of you. I'm on to the cold caffeine. All right, so lots to talk about, lots to catch you up on. As always, thank you for joining in. Also, if I have neglected to say good morning to you, good morning. And don't forget, if you have any questions, to go ahead and pop those into the chat bar. If you do a capital Q with a colon, that helps us search them. I say us, honestly, it's my other people, the support team that's going through and kind of confirming that we've got some questions because I'm focused here so I can talk to you guys, tell you all about some real estate stuff and some fun stuff and all about my trip. So with that, I'm going to not go to brewing first. I'm going to go to cup first so we can share a little bit about where I was last week and talk about that before we get into the real estate. Okay, so here's cup. Okay, so most of you know last week we did not do coffee time because I was back home in Virginia, which is where I'm from. My mom turned 85 in September, and I had planned a trip in September to go see her. I hadn't seen her in quite a while, and I definitely wanted to get there to visit with her and see my family and nieces and nephews and friends, and I had a whole trip planned, and that was, candidly, when I look back, things with Eric, it's still, the timeline is still a blur, but it's starting to filter out a little bit. And the reason I canceled that was because at the end of September, keep in mind this his first appointment started I think it was August 21st. So we are now at the end of September, a month later, still waiting on that word from the insurance company as to whether or not, like, we were still waiting from Mayo, who was waiting from insurance. And I canceled that trip to go see my mom because we were waiting to get that first call from Mayo saying, hey, insurance, we're good. Like, get here for your 1 week pre-transplant, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I didn't go in September. I canceled it because we needed to be here on standby in case anything fantastic happened. Could you answer that? Actually, stand by for just one moment, please. Hi, this is Amy Kidwell. For an important call. Anyway, what'd you do?
I just muted your mic in case.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. No worries. Okay, cool. All right, so the chaos. All right, so anyway, I rescheduled my trip and I went last week. And so here we are. So in the bottom right-hand corner is my family. Now, I'm so touched. I'm so just incredibly happy and humbled that this large family that now is not only siblings, but in-laws, like my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and then my nieces and my nephews, and like my grandnieces and nephews, and it's they, everybody that I have in Virginia, on that side of the family was there. So my mom was there, my older sister was there, my younger sister and her husband were there. Are they in yeah, they're in the picture. My oldest brother and his wife and his two kids were in the picture. My older sister's three kids were in the picture with spouses and nieces and spouses and children, and it was just amazing. And on Friday night when I got there, which was Valentine's Day, it was a little weird traveling on Valentine's Day, but thankfully I never really did much on Valentine's Day. It was never a big holiday for us, so it was fine to travel. But I got there and I got to visit with them. We had a nice dinner at my mom's house on Monday night, just a small one. And by the way, I got to take that away. I got to take that back. It was not, and I'm going to go to this real fast because I have to tell you about this. So my younger sister, Jennifer, she has been blessed with the cooking genes, cooking, like, making food. Not one that I was blessed with. I don't get excited to cook, to be honest. Maybe it's because I'm just old, and maybe it's because I had some kids that were picky and it was just been there, done that. But my grandmother, my mother's mother, was amazing. Like, I just remember so many wonderful meals. And Jennifer, my younger sister, has that same gift. And it's not only that she can, it's like she so enjoys it. Like, she really enjoys cooking and entertaining and just making food for the masses and decorating it all up and displaying it on the table. And anyway, so before the visit, she said, we're just going to have like a small dinner at mom's house on Friday night. And then on Saturday night, we're going to go to a restaurant and everybody's going to come. So she said, so what do you want to eat on Friday night? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I always feel bad. I don't want to tell people what I want to eat because then it's going to be work for them. Like, I don't really care. I'm so not picky. I'm not a foodie. Like, I don't really care whatever is quick and easy. But of course she wanted to do something, and that's the way her heart helps, right? So I'm like, okay, so let me think about what would be good. And then I started thinking back to Sundays growing up as a kid. And most Sundays we would get up, we would go to church, and then we would go see my granny, my dad's mom, and my cousins in Suffolk, Virginia. If for some reason we didn't go to Suffolk that day, then we would go to church, we'd come home, and then we would have barbecue sandwiches and Brunswick stew. And if you don't know what Brunswick stew is, you are so missing out. You need to look up a recipe, figure it out, and have some because it is amazing. So I was thinking that Jennifer might just go get some barbecue and go get some Brunswick stew and heat it up. But nope, not her. She had not only shredded but chopped barbecue because, the texture makes a difference. And that was amazing. And then, excuse me, she made the Brunswick stew from scratch. I mean, come on. So it was amazing. And it was just a massive amount of food. And it took so much work and time and effort, but it was amazing. So our more intimate dinner on Friday evening was absolutely fabulous, homemade. And I cannot thank her enough. And then on Saturday, when we went and had our big meal at a restaurant locally, we all went back to my mom's house and had dessert, which Jennifer said, what do you want for dessert? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, I love brownies. There's a cake that I like, but it is really difficult to make that cake, and it's just a nightmare. But I'm like, brownies are easy. And again, she's making all this food, so she made 3 different kind of brownies because that's her, and I'm so grateful. And those brownies were amazing. Every single one of them. One was a little bit more fudgy. I'm personally a more cakey brownie with nuts. So she made the fudgy brownie, which was delicious. Even if it's not my favorite, it was amazing. Then she made the cakey brownie with lots of nuts on top. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And then she made a third version, which had, I don't even know, but it was about this thick. And it was, I mean, you took one bite and you're like, my cheeks would like pucker. They would start to tingle. Like they were just amazing. So anyway, great visit there. I had that visit with my family. From there on Sunday, and I don't have pictures of my next 2 stops. It just occurred to me. I don't have pictures. Oh, well. From there on Sunday afternoon, I left to Virginia Beach. I drove to Yorktown. That's where we used to live when Eric and I first got married. And I went to go see a dear friend of mine. I didn't get to see Susan this time because there was a big event going on that Susan, you were there too, right? Weren't you at that convention? But anyway, I didn't get to see Susan. Bummer, but I'm gonna see her soon. She's gonna come see me. I know she is. But I did swing by to see my friend Darla. She also was helpful. Became a dear friend. I used to call her my right arm at the studio for years, the dance studio that I used to have. But her husband had passed away kind of unexpectedly, and coincidentally, we were the same ages. So she's a little bit older than I am. So it was nice to go visit with her and, kind of have that conversation with someone who has gone through it. Stop it, Amy. Anyway, and then I was only there for a couple of hours, and then I headed to Richmond to go see my son. And I got to see him and his girlfriend Caroline, and we had a wonderful visit. And then, now, Allie, how do I go back to the picture? How do I go to that picture of the stuff?
Snow?
Yeah. Full? Okay, there it goes. All right, so look at this picture. So on Wednesday morning, I was due to come home, and I wake up and by the way, if you didn't pay attention to the news last week, there was snow. And I was watching my flight. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get out of there. It was kind of a nightmare. It was off and on all day. It was like, are we going to get delayed? If it gets delayed, it's going to get canceled. I didn't want to drive from his house all the way to the airport in the snow, on the snow and ice. It was a mess. But I did eventually get out of there. But that picture in the upper right-hand corner, my son-in-law messaged me first thing on Wednesday morning. He's like, he's tracking the weather. He's taking care of his Mimi, right? And he said, Mimi, I think Richmond got snow, or is it snowing there? And so I hadn't even opened the curtains yet. And I opened up the curtains, and that is what I saw. So clearly it had been snowing for a while. And then the other picture, the jet blue picture, was my flight trying to come home. I made it home, but I was sitting there on a plane that was eerily empty. It was the least occupied plane I have ever been on. It's like, does somebody know something? I don't know. Because nobody is on this plane. Nobody was beside me. There was 2 people in front of me, but that was it. You could look up and down the road, like the next 10 rows beside me, there was not a seat occupied. There was no one behind me for 5 or 6 rows. There was no one. I mean, it was crazy. And we had to sit there for a while. They had to de-ice the plane. And I kept looking out that window, and I'm getting nervous because, Eric and I, we always had our thing that we even do with our kids when we're getting ready to take off. And I didn't have that person there to hold and squeeze the hand and do all of our traditional things that we do. But I was looking out that window and I'm going, I don't see that they've plowed anything over here. I know the ride to the airport was not fantastic, but I'm like, oh, certainly when you get to the airport, it's going to be cleared. It's going to be great. Nope. It was a little daunting. I don't mind telling you. So once we, got on the plane, they de-iced it. It took quite a while to get us, going. But as I was going, I'm like, literally, is it just ice on the runway? How are we going to take off? How are we going to get the traction? I'm stressing. I'm just spiraling with my anxiety, about how am I going to get home safely? And, as we turned just to get on the actual runway part of it, I saw a lot of the vehicles with all the little lights flashing and the scrapers and all that stuff. So the plows, and I'm like, okay, so I guess they have scraped it or plowed that. So anyway, I got home Everything was late. Everything was a hot mess, but I made it. And I will say it was really fun to see snow again. It was cold. Walking back into the airport, that wind was going, but I was prepared. Anyway, so thank you for bearing with me and not having a coffee time last Monday, but that's where I was. That's why I was gone. And I needed that trip. I needed to see them. I was not able to see them for a long time. They weren't able to get here when everything was going on with Eric. And I know that hurt them too, because they wanted to be here. So anyway, on that note, let's get to what's brewing, shall we? Let's do that. Brewing. Okay, so we have 3 great topics today. We have listen to your realtor, pre-approval tells all, and new construction negotiation. And I do say that with quotation marks. We have parentheses, but point is, we'll talk about it here in a second. So there are, and again, we say this all the time. I just like to remind you that the topics come from real life situations, whether it happens to me, whether it happens to a client, whether it happens to a person on the other side of the transaction, whether it's something I hear about, whether it's builder related. It's all very relevant and real life. And we can all learn from that. And I say we cumulatively. I don't know everything. And sometimes you are able to learn a little something. And so our first one is about listen to your realtor. Now, this is when it comes to offering or to submitting an offer, listening to their advice. Now, I also say this with full knowledge that not every realtor has the same mindset. They may not have the same goal. They may not have the same experience. But you did choose them for a reason, whoever that person may be. Hopefully you chose them for a reason. Hopefully it's not just that they're your buddy, but that they actually have, they have some market knowledge and they're going to be able to assist you through the process. But here is an example. So, and these are not, I'm not like, telling on people. This is information for you to learn from and for you to consider when sometimes, we need to have more information. So I had a client submitting an offer on a property. The purchase price or the list price was $299,000. It was a condo a little further out. And my client's max was $285,000. Nothing wrong with that, right? First time home buyer, young person trying to get their first home. $285,000 was kind of their max. Property was listed at $299,000. I spoke to the listing agent, trying to schedule the showing, having that communication, agent to agent, realtor to realtor, listing agent to buyer's agent, having the conversation. Told him kind of, hey, we're going to request a showing. Is there anything we need to know? Is there any motivation from the sellers? Blah, 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 blah. Typical stuff, right? And they said, well, yeah, they're like, we've already had several offers, but they've all been too low. So I will tell you, for it even to be considered, it needs to be 2.9 something. Okay. So they have laid out the groundwork for us. And you might think, well, yeah, of course they're going to say that. They're the seller. They want to have maximum. Yes, but they also want to get the property sold. Do you remember all the times we talk about Eric's favorite advice, which is honestly the best advice ever? In every situation, ask yourself, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to get the property? And in this case, yes, desperately so. They really wanted this condo. Yes, it was a little bit out of reach financially, but we thought maybe, And so I had that conversation. So when the listing agent specifically tells us it needs to be 290 something thousand, I need to convey that so that we can submit an offer as best as we can. Remember what I said, my client's top was 285. That's not 290 something. That's 5,000 under the least of the 290 somethings. So I said, here's my advice. If we can only go to 285, then let's come in at 285. And I can say, this is our highest and best. Here's the situation. First time home buyer, go through the whole, pull at the heartstrings, right? Try to give all of that transparency, all of that information, and say 285 is literally the highest and best. That's the best we can do. Is there any chance the seller would consider? I know you said you needed to be 2.9 something, but maybe you'll consider. Now I will say sometimes the realtor on the other side of the transaction matters, and I'll tell you a story about that one here shortly. So anyway, so that was my advice to my client. Let's come in at 285. Let's come in at our max. Let's say it's our highest and best and see if we can make something happen. But they didn't want to listen to me. They wanted to come in a little bit lower than that so that there would be room to negotiate back. That was the wrong decision, candidly, because what happened, and I have to do what my client wants, right? Just because I offer advice doesn't mean that you have to take it. It can be frustrating on both sides, I'm sure. But in this case, I was like, I'm sitting here, I'm wasting time writing a contract at 282.5 because that's so far below the minimum of what they said. And 285 was going to be an absolute stretch. And that would have been like a huge win for us if we could have received it. So anyway, I did my due diligence, right? I submitted the offer at what my client wanted to submit. And the realtor responded, that's way too low. Seller's not even going to counter. I said, I know, but what can you do, right? So then my client says, okay, well, what if we came in at the 285, which is what I had said several hours earlier. And I said, well, we can try it, but we've kind of set a precedent for low here. Meanwhile, I'm writing the offer and I get a message from the listing agent, hey, somebody else just submitted an offer and we're taking that one because it came in higher. And the frustration is that had we come in at that 285 to begin with, there's not a guaranteed chance that they would have accepted our offer, but we had a shot and we could have been in a conversation with them that would have stepped above the other offer that came in. So anyway, that was kind of a bummer. Don't worry, they're under contract. We got everything squared away. Now they have a house and we're going to be fine. But that was a moment of frustration where not listening to what your realtor is advising you. Remember, our job is to structure an offer that we feel like is going to be worthy of a conversation. We obviously want our buyer to pay as little for the property as possible, but that's not always true if what you're trying to accomplish is to actually get that property. If you want that property, lowballing is not always going to get it done. Another situation, and I promise we're moving on to the other topic, but this is such good information for you. Another scenario. Yesterday, received an offer on one of my listings, a different listing. And the purchase price, the listing price for that one was $799,999. That's what the list price is. They came in low at $780. Okay, $780, that's worth a conversation. We're within the realm of a conversation. It's not full asking, but it's not rude, right? It's not like, dude. It was an offer worthy of a conversation. But they also, in addition to coming in $20,000 under asking, they additionally wanted another $10,000 for closing costs. That's a $30,000 swing, and I priced it right to begin with. We priced it to sell. I can validate every single one of my listing prices. And if I can't, I'll tell you. But I can't because I don't usually take a listing if it's ridiculous. So anyway, so we said, okay, well, we can't. I actually said to them, because remember, we want to consider the buyer here. And I said, what's more important to them, to your client, realtor, buyer, agent, realtor, is what's more important to you, the purchase price or that $10,000 towards closing costs? Because candidly, for all of you out there, it's more advantageous for you to get some sort of a credit back. That's what's going to help that buyer. May not help you as the seller, since 6 to 1, half dozen to the other for you. But for the buyer, having that $10,000 towards closing costs probably would have been more beneficial financially than squabbling about the purchase price. Anyway, having the conversation, they said, okay, well, I said they can probably do one or the other, but I don't think they can do both, meaning the sellers. They can't give you $20,000 off the purchase price and another 10 towards closing costs. What do you want? And then they said, well, what if we come in at full price and we get $25,000 back for closing costs? Okay. So the $30,000 swing has now become a $25,000 swing, which was still too much. And I said, well, why don't we do full purchase price and they can get $20,000? That's fair. And if you can, and I literally said, if they agree, we'll get this signed immediately. We will agree. The sellers will agree immediately. By the way, guys, this was yesterday morning. Okay. Yesterday morning. And they're like, okay, well, they really need the 25. They really, really, really need the 25. And I was like, okay, well, the sellers have a couple of appointments today. I will let them know. And then you can, I'm sorry. Okay, I got to check on my phone. I got some things happening today. I said, if you can get them to the full price offer with 20,000 concession back towards closing costs, we'll sign as soon as you submit it to us. She's like, well, they really want the 25. I was like, okay, well, then I'll let the sellers know, but they've got a few appointments, so they'll have to redo the numbers then to see if they can make it work. Meanwhile, we get another offer. Another agent who I know knows her stuff, which matters when the other agent on the other side of the transaction is someone that understands how it works. And she said, hey, can I show this property today? I was like, absolutely, not a problem. Just submit your showing request. It'll be immediately confirmed. You can pop on in. And I said, full disclosure, we've received an offer on the property. So if your clients have any interest, I don't want anyone to feel rushed, but I wouldn't want you to think about it for 2 days and then want to submit an offer when we've already received one that we're in the conversation of trying to negotiate. Anyway, she's like, absolutely understood, no worries. So she gets out there as soon as she can. She shows it to her clients. Her clients love it. She puts together an offer, and her offer is $1 over asking. She comes in smack dab at $800,000 and asking for no concessions back. Quick closing. By the way, the other one needed a 45-day closing. Again, there's nothing wrong with any of this. It's not that anyone did anything bad or anyone did anything wrong or anything. It's really just a matter of if that other realtor and if those buyers had been more reasonable and understood what we were saying, which was we can do this plus 20,000, which was beyond fair, we would have signed a contract with them before that other agent said, hey, can I go show this property? My client just noticed it and would really like to see it. So anyway, it worked out well for my clients. It worked out very well for them. And it always breaks my heart to have to tell another agent, hey, I'm so sorry they accepted another offer. But you trying to squabble back and forth for minimal amounts of money over a big picture purchase when you were already getting a deal can sometimes bite you in the butt. So rule is, what are you trying to accomplish? Listen to your realtor's advice, because our job is to help you get the property that you want. And sometimes you have to tell your client, we don't need to be greedy here. We got a good counter back from the sellers. Let's lock this baby in so that you have a signed contract by them. Because until then, you submit an offer and the seller doesn't accept it, that offer is no longer valid if you counter back on it. And you have to start the whole thing all over again. So anyway, all right, that was a lot of talking. I know I bored you. Is there anything fancy? Oh, you know what? I know you said Kim had a question up here. I know it's Kim has a question. After we get our 1-year inspection done, who do we send the report to? So good question. So Kim had purchased, she built a new construction home, gorgeous home, and can't believe coming up on the 1 year. But my suggestion for anyone that does new construction, most builders are going to give you a 1, 2, 10 warranty in this area. Please understand where I am located. That's not the warranty for everyone all around the country. But a 1, 2, 10, and in this case, the builder is going to give you a 1-year warranty pretty much on everything. There'll be certain things that are excluded, but in most cases, you can get a lot accomplished in that 1 year. So I suggest to my clients, get your third-party inspection done when you've lived in the home about 10 or 11 months. Let them do another inspection on it, and then you can file that information with the builder. And this is what Kim is asking. So Kim, there are builders, many builders, who do not want you to hand them a third-party inspector's inspection report and say, fix it. But you should have a warranty portal where you as the homeowner can go to that website, click homeowner. You should already have a warranty portal. If not, you can create one. And that is where you will, whatever the inspector says on their report, if they say 3 blistered shingles on the roof, okay? So instead of showing them that snapshot and that picture, type in the warranty portal, some shingles are blistered on the roof. If they ask you to upload a picture, then you can upload a picture. But the reason I say don't give them the full inspection report is because some builders don't want to accept those. Now they should, and there's a lot of builders that are like, absolutely, give me that. We take pride in our work. We want you to be a happy homeowner. We provide you with the warranty, so we want you to take advantage of it. and they'll take that inspector's report. But I like to err on the side of caution there, because I don't want someone to get any pushback from a builder because you did what was rightfully something that you would be able to do. But that's what you're going to do, is you don't give it to the builder, because you're now under warranty. Your builder is irrelevant in your house at this point. Your site agent is irrelevant at this point. Even candidly, I am irrelevant. I have had to go talk to people on behalf of my clients, and they're like, well, you're not a part of this transaction anymore. Like, they've closed on the home. So now this is between the warranty department and the homeowner. So you'll go to that warranty portal, submit your warranty request. They're all usually very good. It'll go into the portal. You'll get an email or something confirming that you've submitted some warranty items. And then there'll be like a person who you can kind of reach out to at that point and get those things scheduled. But that's a really good question. Okay, let's go to the second brewing topic, is pre-approval tells all. Okay, so here is another thing, and I've said this before, but I have to keep saying it because I think some people think differently, and that's okay. But I will tell you that when you get a pre-approval, it used to be a long time ago, you could go out house shopping before you got your pre-approval. So you would find a house. You're like, oh, you know what? I like that house. Let's put an offer on it, and then I'll get my pre-approval. Well, that's really not the way it works anymore. In most cases, you're going to need that pre-approval before you can even show the property or see the property. But you definitely need to have a pre-approval before you submit your offer. Now, there are a lot of people who are like, okay, we're going to submit. Well, for instance, the people who I just mentioned a minute ago who submitted an offer at $780,000, their pre-approval was for $780,000. So when it was time for the sellers to counter back, I looked at the pre-approval. I'm like, well, their pre-approval says 780. So maybe they can't go any higher than that. So we may not be able to entertain any more negotiation with them because their pre-approval said 780. If I had known that they were pre-approved maybe to 790 or 800 or 825 or $1 million, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to pull all this money out of them. It just means that, okay, if they're pre-approved, then I know they can go to full price, and maybe it would be more financially beneficial if we do this and then we counter back with this. It lets the realtors do their job to represent their clients, the buyers and the sellers, to negotiate and get terms that are accommodating to both parties. But if you only send in a pre-approval specific to the amount that you're offering, it can put in, like if I have two offers, which in this case I did, and the other people were pre-approved to 900. So who do I think, whether it's valid or not, okay, keep in mind, whether it's valid or not, if I have approval of somebody who's at 900 and somebody who's at 780, which do you common sense wise feel like is going to be a stronger buyer at an $800,000 price point? Think about it. Do I want the person who's only that only submits a pre-approval for 780, and maybe that's their top? Maybe they're really tight at that. Like maybe that's like so much the ceiling of where their pre-approval is. Even if we did negotiate back to 8, are they going to be able to close and qualify for it? Or do I want that buyer where I know they've got some cushion? They're pre-approved at 900. We're not going to 900. We just want to get the price that we were asking for the property. And we know that in that regard, they represent as a better, more qualified buyer. Does that make sense? So think about that. So if you are that person who's like, nope, I'm going to get a pre-approval for the exact price that I'm offering because I don't want them to know I can go higher, you again might be doing yourself a disservice by not allowing the seller or the listing agent to know that you are a very well qualified buyer. And in the event that there needs to be some back and forth in negotiation, which by the way, I hate, it happens. We all do it because that's what everybody else in the world expects. But it is, I will tell you, very few realtors want to go back and forth and back and forth. In most cases, we want a one and done because we want to submit a fair offer or we want someone to submit a fair offer. And at that point, you know where you are. All your cards are there. Let's play the game now. Let's get you under contract and let's have fun. Anyway, so pre-approval tells all. So word to the wise, get your pre-approval. Know what that number is. If your number is 780, then don't look at houses that are 800. Well, I mean, I guess you could look at them, but you need to be really prepared to find a way to pay for that. And if you're at 900, fantastic. Don't worry about, oh gosh, we really don't want to spend 900. We really only want to stay between the 750 and 8 mark. Fantastic. Still use that pre-approval because it shows that you are a better and a stronger buyer to that listing agent and to that seller, and they're more willing to work with you than somebody who was walking a tightrope and barely able to qualify for what that pre-approval states. Okay, there we go. How are we doing? You know, without Eric here, I am so boring. Right? No, I am, right? It's like just talk. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm boring. Don't tune away. All right, any other questions in there? Anything else I need?
Kim had another question. Do you think we should do the sewer scope on a new home?
Yeah, so I don't see that one. Was it after that?
It was after.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it because that's a good question.
Back down to the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Kim, got all the questions today. Miss Kim Sokolsky. Love it. Okay, do you think we should do a sewer scope on a new home? So yes, honestly, in my opinion, yes, only because I've seen so many things happen with new construction. And again, even if the home is only a year old, it is still new construction, right? If you have not had any plumbing problems, when you've been flushing toilets just fine and there's not been any backup, you're probably okay. But I oftentimes, if you are doing a pre-closing, like a final inspection on the property before you close on it, I always suggest you do a sewer scope because, again, some builders do that of their own, like they want to do it themselves because they want to make sure that everything looks good. There are other builders who do not. But every builder is going to have issue with dirt and or debris getting into the sewer lines. It shouldn't be, but construction is a messy site. It is a very busy, dusty, debris-filled environment, and many times that dirt and debris is going to get in that sewer line, and you may not know you have a problem until you flush that toilet 100 times. So Kim, yeah, I would do it. I would add it for that peace of mind, even if things are going well. If it's not a bunch of people in every bathroom flushing all day long, you know, you still could potentially have something that's creating a blockage way down, maybe close to the street that just hasn't backed up yet. But I do think it's worth it. I'm a big person of peace of mind in the grand scheme of things. However much it pays to have a sewer scope is far less than having to deal with getting a toilet fixed, replacing a toilet, potentially having a backup and flooding, and then you've got a flooring issue. Then you've got a nightmare on your hands. Spend that, $100, couple $100, get the sewer scope done. And, and then if there's an issue, we know, and we can start to remedy it. Again, I'm always better about being proactive instead of reactive. That's like kind of like my best phrase for everything. Get it done ahead of time. Be smart about it. Think ahead and not have to deal with the aftermath of, oh gosh, something went wrong. So another good question. Okay. All right. Okay. Third topic was new construction negotiation. This one's going to be quick, I promise, and then we're going to go on because I got to show you some other fun stuff. So new construction negotiation. I had a client reach out to me recently, and they sent an email and they said, we're out. We want to look at some of these new construction properties. We found a few areas that we like. We found a few builders and a few floor plans that we like, but we really want to have a realtor help us with the new construction negotiation. And so I responded and I said, I would be more than happy to help you. I love new construction. I'm very well versed at it. I have great relationships with these builders, a lot of experience in this. However, just to set the correct expectation, I am not going to be able to go in there and say, I know your base price is $540, but we would like to start at $5. And on that note, your structural options, I know that balcony is $15,000, but we would like to only pay $12,000. That's not how new construction works. And that's not necessarily what they were expecting. They just didn't know. And so I needed to set that expectation that with new construction, we don't get to tell them what we would like to pay for the home when you are building from dirt. The only thing that sometimes we may have a conversation about, could be the incentives. Is there any extra back pocket with those incentives? Do we anticipate that those incentives are going to increase or decrease? Because they just as likely will decrease. Maybe the lot premium, maybe. But new construction, you have to remember, those builders are steadfast about keeping the values in those communities. And when things go wrong and they're at the end of a community and they try to really discount some final inventory homes, it really wreaks havoc with the property values of the whole community. So the builders really do try, especially when it's in a very big, consistent building, part of the process there in that community. They're really not going to negotiate pricing with you. So anyway, so I gave them that full, transparency. I said, if you're thinking I'm going to be able to come in and, help you knock off $100,000 off your home, not going to happen. But I will absolutely be able to advise you, and I can with all certainty let you know that we will get every incentive that is offered. We're not going to leave anything on the table if there is something. And we'll be here to go through the process and answer those questions all along the way. So there's definitely real value in that. But, getting the builder to go, oh, it's Amy. You know what? It's Amy. So we're going to take off 20,000. No, they're not. They may like us. There's a lot of realtors that do it a lot with new construction. It's not like we get any extra special, money off. But what we do get is confidence in the builder. Builder has confidence in us. They want to keep us happy. They're going to keep you happy then by just a continuation of that. And if there are any incentives to give, then they do what they can. And that's really all the best we can, the best we can hope for is that we have the best experience possible. So anyway, okay, I'm going to move on to something else. Let's do cute babies. Do you want to do cute babies? I want to do cute babies. Because by the way, you haven't heard him, but Easton's over there playing like a little angel. He's just a little angel over there. Okay, baby. Oh my gosh. Guys, think about this. Do you remember when you were with me 10 months ago, 9 and 10 months ago? Well, even before that, like a long time ago when the girls were pregnant and their bellies and the due dates and the deliveries and they were born. And now look at these cute babies. Oh my gosh. Stinking adorable. So Elizabeth came over yesterday with little Miss Elsie. And the cousins got to play for a few minutes. It is really fun to see them be so close in age and just develop mentally and size-wise and what they're doing and how they're babbling. And, Elsie, she's going to be either an Olympic gymnast or a track runner. I don't know what, but she's fast. She would like roll all around really fast. And then now she's like crawling like crazy, and she's pulling and she's standing up and she's crawling like it doesn't matter what the obstacle is, that child will crawl over it, including you. You're in her way, forget it. She will monkey all around you and get on the other side. Easton cracks me up too. He's also started that he wants to pull himself up, and I think he hasn't quite figured out how to get the foot he hasn't got the leverage to get the foot and the knee under the hip to push up, but he's trying. He can stand up. I had a picture. I don't think we have it, but picture of both of them standing up yesterday. Elsie's cruising along. Elizabeth tempts her with treats down the sofa, so she'll go around. But anyway, so yesterday was a good day. I had a lot of work to do. But never too busy to get some Mimi hugs in there. And it was desperately needed. I hadn't seen them for a while either. And I just got a message. Hold on. I just saw. Okay, so this is Susan. Oh gosh, that's a horrible picture of my like derp face. But anyway, Susan Forsgren just sent this picture. Susan's my dear friend in Virginia who's comes and helps me all the time. That's Maddie. That's her grandson. And she said Maddie loves watching the cute babies on TV. That is cute. Yay. Oh, wait, Kim said, speaking of new babies, I sent you a picture of my new baby. Did she send me one? Oh, she did. Hold on. Am I allowed to show it? Kim, tell me real quick if I'm allowed to. All right, Kim, I'm showing it. Okay. All right. Kim says she has a picture of her new baby, and this is Kim's new baby. Girl, that got me. That's funny. Oh my gosh. I was like, wait, there's a new grandbaby. That is stinking cute. Oh my God. That is adorable. Okay. Anyway. All right. You guys are funny. All right. So let's move on. What should I move on to now? What do you want to do? What do you guys want to do? What should we do?
You've got wishes. You've got
you know what? Let's do wishes, because I do need to watch my time here, because I have a closing here in just a little bit. So once I finish coffee time, I got to scoot to a closing, which is good. All right. Let's do wishes. Okay, big week today. Okay. Big week this week. We have a lot of closings, a lot of, and I think I spelled Shelly's name wrong. It's with an E, but that's okay. Shelley, but that's okay. Oh, good. Oh, good. It's all right. I didn't recognize it until just now. So we have lots of closings this week. Lots of final walkthroughs were happening last week. I did one the other day for some clients. Their new homeowner orientation. Just lots going on. So Allie and Hong, congratulations. Home is under contract. Shelly and Dennis are closing this week. Terry, they are closing this week as well, maybe tomorrow. Diane and Keith, I'm heading there next. As soon as I leave here on coffee time, I'm going to go meet up with them and we're going to close and get keys to their new home. And Nyaka and Mario, so excited that they are getting ready to close on their beautiful new home with Trinity Family Builders. Seriously, I'm just so, actually there's a couple Trinities in there. We got one Trinity, we have two Trinities and two Pultes there, and a listing. Anyway, super excited for all of them. Everyone has a story, and that's what is really so fun about this whole career, is that every house is different. Every transaction is different. Every buyer is different. Every seller is different. Every builder is different. Everything is always different. And that having all of those different experiences really, really helps. It just helps everybody navigate things and understand how things work and set the expectations, making sure people have realistic expectations. And it's just so fun. So like each one of those people, I can just go on and on and on about them and about their situation and their story. And anyway, and it's fun. So thank all of you that are on our wishes for this week. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, because it really is. It makes my heart happy. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to do another one because we got a couple more. Let's do scoop. All right. Yeah. Did you see this? Here's the inside scoop. Builder drops $40,000 in their base price. That is unheard of. So, first of all, that is not a builder right here in Disney's backyard. If you were thinking, oh, hallelujah, there's a builder dropping prices in Horizon West. No, ma'am, it's not happening. They're still going up. But this is a little bit further out, a little bit on the outskirts, and I believe it might even be more townhomes. But you don't really see builders dropping base prices. You just don't really see that. And if you see that, that is a sign that in that area or in that community, the sales are just not happening. Because remember, the first thing a builder is going to do in most cases, full disclosure, I'm not a builder, okay, but worked with them enough that in my experience, the first thing a builder is going to do to get people to sign contracts and to either build or purchase in the community is incredible incentives. Like that's what they're going to do. They would rather sell it high and give you a lot of incentives, which is why sometimes, just as a sidebar, as I share this information with you, and this really is a lot for those of you who are anywhere near a new construction community and you're thinking of selling, when you have a realtor that only uses new construction homes as comps, that is skewed, because I can show that the builder next door sold a home for this high price, and that's what's going to reflect in the MLS. That's what's going to reflect in the public information, is that it sold at $800,000. But what it's not going to show is that they got a $30,000 closing cost contribution, or 15 at the design center. It doesn't show you those. So it is important to note that. You want to make sure that that if you're a resale and you got a builder near you and your realtor is only giving you comps, you can use, I've used them before and I've said, this is what it sold at, but those builders have deep pockets. So they're giving you additional incentives that are not reflected here. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know. My phone keeps dinging over here. I just got to make sure we're okay. Can you, this is an update. Oh, this is so exciting. By the way, I'm so excited. I'm just saying I'm excited because people are closing. And so it's like this, guys, this is so freaking fun. When the messages that I'm getting is from the title company in preparation for the closing that's going to be happening at 11 o'clock this morning. And it just makes my heart so stinking happy. And it could use being happy. it's just really fun to see people go through this whole journey of building, like from dirt, like going back to when we were out there and looking at houses and looking at builders and picking the home site and then building the home and picking the design options, and then as it gets built and doing all the walkthroughs, and then here it is, it's the big closing day, and it is just such a magnificent reward, and it truly is rewarding to see that. Anyway, so that's what the ding dings are. Lost my train of thought. That's okay. I did want to get to a couple other things, and then I'm going to skedoodle because it's almost time. Boy, I can talk about nothing for a very long time. It's such a gift, right? All right, let's go to secret. Did I do secret? Yeah, no. Okay, so guys, it is busy. Do you remember how we talked about pre-holidays? You know, once schools go back to kids, once kids go back to school in August, here things tend to dip down. The traffic starts to slow down because now we've hit, okay, kids are back in school. Again, not everyone has kids. That's not everybody's timeline determiner, but it is many people's timeline determiner for one reason or another. And September, October, November, December kind of slows down a little bit. People still buy, people still sell, but it is not cuckoo crazy. But we here, my friends, have hit, okay, busy time. We have foot traffic has picked up on everything. Listings are happening all over the place, and that's what the top secret, the secret is. I have several more listings that are going to be coming on the market. One of them actually is going to be going on the market tomorrow morning, right here in Horizon West. It is a gorgeous one story. Now remember, I can't give you all the specifics, but I can tell you a lot. So if you're interested, let me know. A beautiful one-story floor plan with an extended lanai that's screened in, that looks out to this beautiful pond in a great community right here in Horizon West. Big, gorgeous kitchen with lots of white cabinets and a big, long island. It is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect one-story floor plan. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, I think it is. And then we also have another one coming on the market out in Mineola. That one is a lovely 2-story home. They've done some really cute, very simple. In fact, I can't wait to get pictures of that because they've done some very, very small details in the home that made a very big visual impact and really changes the feel and the vibe of the home. And you know, for the most part, was not expensive what they did. It was just smart. And then, so we have the Mineola, we have the Claremont, we have 2 in Winter Garden, lots of stuff happening. So I'm gonna have some more houses to kind of pop up there. Did we have the one though? I guess, did we have the one of your, I guess we don't need that one. We don't need that one at the moment.
Listing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's up there in the corner.
And the corner. Yeah, oh, here it is. Yeah. So these are the current ones. So we have the Alcott one story, the Torrey is under contract, the Hawksmoor is under contract. We still have the one in Groveland, one in Davenport Townhome, and the Groveland Villa. And remember, guys, some of these have been on the market for quite a while. So there is not any guaranteed days that a home will be on the market and that it can sell. It is all about the buyer. It is all about the timing. It is all about the pricing. And in each case, these are all priced very well. It's just that one of them is in a short-term rental area. The other one is also in a short-term rental area, but it's a villa, and that is a specific type of a concept for a home. And then the one in Groveland is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful home. Just looking for the foot traffic there to see what a great value it is. But I've got 2 of them under contract. The other one also in Horizon West. All that extra space beside it. It looks out to a pond in the back. Anyway, those are the current listings. Got a bunch more coming. And then the last thing is word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
All right, effective date. So I'm just going to go through this one really quickly. The effective date is the date where you have all of the signatures necessary on the contract. So if a buyer sends an offer to a home on the 1st of the month, and the buyer has 24 hours to sign it and to review it and to agree or to counter or to agree to terms, and they sign it on the 2nd, because it's within that 24-hour acceptance period, then the effective date is going to be on the 2nd. The effective date is the date that you have received the final required signature. So keep that in mind when you are determining inspection periods, or if you have a timeline that you have to submit your loan application within 5 days. Yeah, guys, day one is the day that you get that final signature. And if that final signature happens at 10 o'clock at night, that was still the day. So you have to be aware of that when you're thinking about timelines. So by the way, so don't put anything off into the wee hours of the evening if at all possible. But if you have to, just keep that in mind. Okay, last thing, what I'm watching, and then we're gonna move on. Oh, we got more people that popped in. Hello from behind Levi's Stadium. Well, hello. Good morning to you. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, what I'm watching. Okay, so I just finished this last night. I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't say I'm not gonna recommend. I told you I watch all sorts of different things, and this one only had 3 episodes, so I thought it was a good one for me just to kind of watch. I did not know about this. I guess I was just of the generation. When did this happen? It was like 2020.
I feel like it was more recently than that, but
20.
it might not have been.
I just saw a lot of masks in there, so I feel like anyway. At any rate, few years ago. I was not aware of this, but I'm not going to even go into it because it's sad because obviously the title kind of tells you a little bit. But if you're looking for a quick little, I won't say it's a murder mystery. It's real life. It's true crime. Yeah, true crime. But you don't have the date though, right? It's fine. It's like I think it was like 2020, 2021. I don't know. At any rate, it's an okay thing to watch. I cried, but what else is new, friends? What else is new? 2021. Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, I thought at some point I saw, like, when we all had masks and everything on. But anyway, all right, guys. So with that, I have to get myself ready to go out and see Diane and Keith and help them close on their new home. So excited about that. Yep. Susan says August 2021. Yep, so excited to go see them close, help them get through the closing process. I love that you guys. I love so much. I see my enchanted nomads, and I see Pam and John Hickman. Everybody talking about the things that are up and coming in the areas that they now live, whether it is the new Crooked Can that they've broken ground on, or any of the wonderful things that are kind of out there. I love that you guys love to see your community grow. It really is just a really fun thing to be a part of. So again, Daryl popped in. He says we snuck in late, but we're loving this. Hello, Daryl. And you all know Daryl he's my brother. He's Eric's brother. Jen is my sister. And we love you guys, and we love all of you guys. So with that, I will start to wrap it up, and I will tell you, as always, thank you for being with us. Thanks for joining in. Shafiq, thanks again for the mugs. I didn't see him here today, but I appreciate you too, my friend. Thanks for letting me have a week off last week and go visit with friends and family and not be stressed about it. I also feel bad because I'm like, if it had been like, if Eric was here, Eric would have done coffee time and you would have like had so much fun with him. But for now, I just took some time off, but I'm back. Thank you, Allie, for getting us up and running today. Yay, applause to Alala, as we call her. As we always say, guys, please remember to stay safe, stay well. Remember, we truly love you, and we really appreciate you joining in. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great week. Happy house hunting. I'll see you next week. Bye. That wasn't it, guys. That wasn't it. It's end. Well, that doesn't end. You're going to have to end it because that button went to word. It's okay. No worries. We can end it. We'll see you guys. Have a good one. She's got it. She's got it. She's got it. She's got it. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. Ending. There we go.
Oh, okay. Well,
oh, that's okay. That's all right. We'll see you guys later. Do what?